show life.
Dario's drinking a grown-up drink.
Well, that's all I have left. I need to make a run.
What do you have? Oh my gosh!
What? Ooh, how is that? Like the top shelf beer?
That's
booze?
awesome.
Is that why I don't recognize it at all?
Yeah, this is top shelf beer.
Yeah.
Drink 16 ounces of that.
I'll be fine.
Get on this.
Be fine.
He just poured some Natty Light into there.
Yeah, beer and I don't agree much.
Alrighty, you and AJ can agree to that, but
We do. It's one reason we get along.
Yeah.
all right.
Almost Moscow Mule season, boys.
When isn't Moscow Mule season?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's cold outside. No, thank you.
Okay, well, I guess we should get this show on the road. And this one is presented by Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD-infused coffee that has really changed lives. And you can now purchase in K-Cups or whole bean and ground versions as well, whichever coffee type you desire, whatever is easy for you. And you can get 20% off when you use code DNVR at checkout online. Get it shipped straight to your door. And with stores opening back up in Denver, you can even try it before you buy at locations like Carbon Cafe, Drip Denver, Slow High Coffee, Blue Sparrow Coffee, Max Market, many others as well. CBD is non-psychoactive, and it's been known to help many aches and pains, including IBS, anxiety, back pain, migraines, many others as well. So just remember to use that DNVR20 code when you buy. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast, or as of today, I guess I should call this Free Skate Friday, as we are doing a bit more of a laid-back show, going to have a little bit of fun, play some games, and just kind of shoot the breeze, talk about the Avs, talk about some silky mitts, who knows, grinders, fighters, all the whole 9 yards here. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Presented by Davidson's Beer, Wine, and Spirits, my go-to place to pick up my Breckenridge Brewery. AJ always joins me on the show, as you all know by now, I'm sure. But today we also have our other beat member in Evan Rowell, and are joined once again. It's been a long time since Dario Ronzoni has joined us on the pod as well. So we're going to have a ton of people chilling, hanging around, shooting it about the Avs, basically, which I think you've all probably heard AJ and I talk about this enough, but a little birdie told me that that Dario doesn't quite agree with us with the formatting of the playoffs and how excited we are about it.
Oh, with the with the new one,
yeah.
I'm not a proponent of 5-game series. I don't like that. I know I'm in the minority. Even my wife is. Thinks I'm crazy, but there's something about winning 16 games to win the Stanley Cup, and I know yesterday you guys even told me that.
Yeah,
they're going to do playoffs.
Yeah, when they get down to the final 16 teams, it's going to be 7 games to win the cup. It's going to take 16 wins to win the Stanley Cup, and my experience is all anecdotal, and I know in the long past, they used to have some 5-game series. But in my experience in watching playoff hockey, because momentum from game to game is not really a thing in hockey. It could seem like the end of the world. You lose a playoff game, and then the next game, everything changes. All of a sudden you can beat their goalie and things change. And in a 7-game series, it just, for me, and once again, it's just anecdotal, it just seems like that allows enough time for the ebb and flow, and it lends credence to how hard it is to win the toughest trophy to win in sports. Is when you run that gauntlet of 16 wins, no one can say you didn't earn it. No one looks back on the Chicago Blackhawks and the shortened 2013 season, I believe it is.
Yeah.
They only played 48 regular season games. You could make an argument, since we have, the 7-game series this year, that this Stanley Cup champion is almost more legitimate than the Chicago Blackhawks back in 13.
At this point, I think you're going to. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but with the format changes that they've made this the hardest Stanley Cup to win. Like, period.
Right. And I don't, maybe you guys can clarify this, but for the Avs, they have 92 points to the Blues are 94.
It was 92. Yeah, it was 94
but we have,
to 92.
Yeah, and then the Avalanche have one less game played.
Yeah.
So they could have easily be tied, and but they're going to do this seeding round robin.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the team with the most to lose at this point looks like it's St. Louis.
Yeah.
From the round robin, yeah. I mean,
from the round robin.
Realistically, though, the 5th seed in Edmonton could get knocked out in theory before the playoffs technically even start. But
and then they're going to reseed everything after each round.
Yep.
So
well, Edmonton really give it 4 more days of a regular season, and they would have passed Dallas. Dallas would have been somewhere in the wild card, and Edmonton was second in their division, and now that all just gets taken away. So Edmonton really got the business in this whole setup.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't get but it's an imperfect situation. So there's going to be imperfect.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be a perfect system. There's no way to make it great.
They have to win 19 games now to win the cup. Edmonton does.
Yeah. But on the other hand, they get to play Chicago's defense with the best line, and arguably the 2 most prolific scorers in the NHL go against that Chicago defense. Chicago's in for a world of hurt, if you ask me, but we'll see.
Chicago's going to show up half drunk because there's we don't. We got to go through another training camp. Wasn't ready for this. I mean, McDavid. You think of those guys were playing 25, 26 minutes a night. That break is probably going to be clutch for them. They get to regenerate their legs and all that stuff.
Yeah, when you guys look at the matchups that they've set, which are the ones that really have you guys most excited?
The matchups, by the way, are Edmonton versus Chicago, Winnipeg versus Minnesota, I believe.
Winnipeg versus Calgary. You keep doing
Calgary.
this.
Sorry. Yeah, I always get the 7, 10, 8, 9 mixed up.
Vancouver, Minnesota.
Vancouver, Minnesota. Excuse me.
Not Vancouver, Minnesota. That one doesn't excite me at all, to be honest.
Really? I'm more interested in that than Calgary. Winnipeg.
You're not excited for that matchup. You just want Vancouver to win and face the Avs.
I do. I admit I want Vancouver real bad.
So,
I mean, I think Calgary, Winnipeg could be entertaining hockey. There's some talent on those teams up front, so I could see high scoring, and that would be fun to watch.
I think that one. That's gonna go a full 5 games, from what I can tell. But
that sounds so weird to say.
Yeah, I know. And goaltending is gonna be a big deal in that series. Big deal.
Goaltending's just going to be so wildly unpredictable after such a long break. I don't even know what to think of anything.
Yeah.
Can't trust it for sure.
Who wants to watch Nashville and Arizona?
I think that's an interesting series because I think both teams are sneaky dangerous, and they're gonna one of them's gonna take the other one out right away.
Yeah, I think Nashville's way more dangerous than Arizona, but
I like both of those teams better than both Vancouver and Minnesota.
Same.
And it's one of those garbage teams is going to get out of there, and and one of Nashville or Arizona. I mean, could you imagine Nashville trades PK Subban for a song, basically?
Pieces, yeah.
And so they can go out and they can give Matt Duchene all the money Matt Duchene wants, even though he would have played for them for free. And we have our number 1 center, and they can't even get out of a 24-team playoff.
Yeah, that'd be pretty yikes. On the other side of
what
that,
do you do at that point if you're David Poile?
You cry.
Yeah, I mean, their window is now or was maybe 2 years ago. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're going to do.
I mean,
especially against a team that doesn't have another one center.
the other side of it, though, is one of these teams that gets out is going to hit Dallas from the round robin, and they're going to be licking their chops. Like,
Well, and Dallas gets to reset though. Like
They
get to they were playing their worst hockey since the start of the season, and they get to just wash it away. None of it matters.
But they may not face Dallas because we have to do this round robin
right?
seeding.
We don't know.
Right.
Who ends up down.
Somebody's going to get Dallas though. Like somebody is going to get Dallas, and you have to think that of the 3 teams or of the 4 teams that are in the round robin, Dallas is the one everybody's like, we want those guys. Because I mean, if you're an Edmonton fan, just since we have Dario here, if you're rooting for Edmonton, you don't want the smoke with any of those other 3 teams. You want Dallas.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might be pretty happy about taking on Vegas too.
Here's a question we've answered in multiple Discord channels in the past, I believe, but I don't know if we've ever answered it on the podcast. Random thought. Let's say the Avs win 3 cups over the next 12-ish years. Who's all Hall of Famers? Obviously McKinnon, slam dunk. Obviously Makar, slam dunk.
The kids played 65 NHL games, and we're like not even that many. It's like 50 something.
If the Avs win 3 cups, he's doing
and
pretty
it's
well.
right. It's insane that we're just like, oh yeah, 20-year-old rookie, and we're like Hall of Fame, slam dunk.
But
Yeah.
besides the obvious 2, do you think there's any other Hall of Famers in that lineup?
I think the other really good candidate that sticks out is Mikko.
I would agree.
If the points continue, I mean, he just keeps rolling along at a point per game for the next 10 years, and he also wins 3 cups, and then steals something internationally with Finland. It's like, well,
How do you keep him out at a certain
yeah,
point?
like okay, great. Like the guy's going to score 1,200 points, win multiple cups, and I think Mikko's the 3rd guy there that would really stick out.
He has already captained a World Junior team to gold, so
Yeah.
he's got it started.
He's got a chance at the triple if he gets the cup and a gold medal.
So for those 3 cup wins, who's the goaltender?
That is the question.
It doesn't matter.
If it's Grubauer,
Cup number 1 will be Grubauer. Cup number 2 and 3 will be Annunen.
There you go.
well then
Is
then
Annunen on the
Annunen's
Hall of Fame
Famer.
track? Yeah.
Is Matt Murray a Hall of Famer?
He's won 2 cups. He probably will be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he's 25, and he's not even Pittsburgh's clear-cut starter at this point.
Or anyway, he's only won 1 cup.
He's won 2.
1-2.
Oh, he won 2.
He won
Yeah.
2 cups
Yeah,
as a
he won
rookie,
2.
technically.
Oh, I'm mixing. I'm thinking Chicago and Crawford.
And Niemi and
Yeah.
whatever that was.
Jay
Yeah.
Walker brings up a good point. You win 3 cups as a coach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no question. But if you win 2 Stanley Cups as a goaltender in the NHL, you're in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Murray did it at the very beginning of his career, so like he's got a whole career to build from here. But
Had more cups than seasons at one point, so
yeah, exactly. He had 2 Stanley Cup wins and was still technically a rookie. So,
It's so wild to predict with goalies. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to even say Grubauer doesn't even just like crank it up, or Francouz doesn't stick around for a couple of years? So you just never know.
What are goalies?
Weird.
voodoo.
Weird. They're
They're
weird.
voodoo. We have no idea what they're going to do.
that's
none.
They're just not Hall of Fame numbers. Retired Avs number, probably.
Oh,
But Hall of
retired
Fame,
Avs
no way.
number. If Landeskog signs another contract, another long-term deal, and gets into his 30s, and he starts to chase down Hayduk's games played record, like Landeskog should be an easy retired jersey number. But when it comes to Hall of Fame, I
Don't see it. Yep.
I really don't.
Hall of very good for sure.
Right, like because you look at a guy like Jonathan Taves, and we're all talking. And early in his career, it was like, oh, this guy's an easy Hall of Famer. The NHL made him one of the 100 all-time greatest players,
That was.
and ahead of Evgeny Malkin, by the way. And it's like the second half of his career has fallen off so hard, where you're like, are we sure about this? Like, his points per game and the seasons that he's had and all that, right? Like it's just kind of like I think if he really falls off hard and plays for another 7 or 8 years, Taves could be like that could be under threat. And with Landeskog, he doesn't, he doesn't have any of those credentials. Even if you add 3 cups over the next 12 years, which that's a really long time. Like that's a super long window.
If Landy plays for another 12 years, that would be pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at that point, maybe he compiles enough points where you're just like, oh, he's got 1,700 games played and he just rolls his way into 1,200 points, and you're like, okay, well, maybe. But I think that would have to be the way. It would have to be like a.
If you play to age 40, do you just like get into the Hall of Fame? Is that the rule? I mean,
yeah.
Is Justin Williams a Hall of Famer?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, you have a nickname like Mr. Game 7, and you gotta have a chance, right?
And that's good. That's all good and well. But you go back, if you actually were looking at his career numbers right now, you'd be like, no.
I'm sure.
I mean, Claude Lemieux's not in, is he? So
he's not.
Yeah,
he's not. So
you listen to like AD goes crazy about this conversation.
Yeah.
He thinks Claude Lemieux should be a Hall of Famer, and when you consider playoff resume, Lemieux's playoff resume is
Cups.
Fantastic
in the bag, yeah.
So
yeah, Justin Williams doesn't even have 800 points. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, and unless you're Peter Forsberg or Pavel Bure, you're not getting in.
Justin
with that
Williams
resume.
doesn't have 800 points with like not even 0.75 points per game here.
12 years is so long. I'm just looking back to the 2008 Avs, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's a long time
right.
ago.
Well, and I mean, how long did the original Avs, when they first moved here, they didn't compete for 12 years.
They compete. It was like 8 true years of.
They had 7 years of like dominance where they were in. They won 2 cups, and then they were in like 3 or 4 other conference finals. Like they that was the stretch, and then after that, then 02. And then kind of a slow decline after that, where it was like, yeah, they're in the playoffs every year. They win around occasionally, but they were never quite on that same level again of like cup contending.
All you have to do is look at the people they drafted when they were winning. That killed them.
Have no idea what the answer to is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Justin Williams win the Conn Smythe with LA?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I actually have no idea.
So running through since 1965, Beliveau is in. Is Roger Crochet in?
Dude, my hockey history is not great when it gets back into that.
Dave Keon, Glenn Hall, Serge Savard, Bobby Orr, Ken Dryden, blah 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 blah. All these guys are definitely in. Is Bob Gainey in?
Is Ryan O'Reilly going to be in?
Hextall, Gretzky, McInnes, Bill Ranford.
O'Reilly's going to be an interesting Hall of Fame case.
That is going to be an interesting one. Did Vernon get in?
No.
I don't think so.
There's one that didn't.
Tim Thomas?
Yeah.
Jaguar. Tim Thomas, Jaguar, the last one to win it for the losing team.
Cam Ward.
Brad Richards won it for the Lightning.
All right, so we've had some Conn Smythe winners who were really good on their teams but didn't have the career longevity. It's not like winning a Hart Trophy where
you showed up for 3 or 4 series basically to win a Conn Smythe.
Yeah, there's a very small number of guys who won the Hart and did not get into the Hall.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them. Jose Theodore or Corey Perry are probably going to be added to that list.
Corey Perry has a shot, I think.
I don't know that he fell off really fast.
He did.
Is the thing. So you could look back at like just his prime and maybe make that argument, but there's no longevity there.
And then Theodore was such a weird Hart Trophy win.
Taylor Hall still has time. He's 30 years old, so it's like we'll see. If his career ended today, I don't think any of us would make a Hall of Fame case for him.
Nope.
No way.
And that's why he's going to bail on Arizona. He's not staying there.
Well, I don't. Yeah, he needs to go somewhere where he can boost that.
And
you
I
got to get those numbers up, son.
That, and if you're a big name UFA, you're doing everything you can to sign short-term deals until the money kicks up again.
Yeah, let's since we're here, let's just talk about what do you guys think about this offseason where Rudo and I in the past couple days of the pod have talked about a flat cap for the next couple of years and just kind of what that could mean. If you were, how are you looking at this free agency if the cap isn't going anywhere?
I could see a lot of guys that normally would have jobs are somehow just pushed out because of cost, or either that or they're just going to have to take below what they would have gotten in a normal year. It's going to be very weird.
Especially the older guys. If you're a 38-year-old in the NHL right now and you have this veteran presence and you're not going to get a big contract if you may not get a contract at all. It's a sad way to go out.
Man, it's kind of just how it goes in a brutal sport,
Yeah.
Very unforgiving at the end of careers.
Yeah, but I think I listened to an earlier podcast from you guys, and I'm sure the Avs should and absolutely should make effort to sign Makar to a big deal if they can, if his camp agrees to a long-term big deal. But they got a lot of guys. I mean, it worked this year. I don't know. It's hard to say that it didn't as far as the regular season. This was a really good team, so I'm sure they're going to want to keep the boys together, and that means Burakovsky and some of the other guys they have pending. Maybe not Nemestikov because they haven't seen too much of him, but
I just don't think they have room for Nemestikov. And given his price tag already, the guy's already
ask for $4 to $5 million. It's just it can't happen. Yeah,
you can't blow that just on a total luxury where you're just you've got multiple guys in your farm system that you hope can give you something similar for 1/4 or 1/5 of the cost. It's just
right.
You just can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about the unrestricted free agents and how rough it is. Like, could you imagine Tyson Barrie right now? You go to Toronto.
He's not getting $8 million.
Yeah, I know. You have your worst year. Like, you're getting ripped apart by the fans there. And now all this happens with your unrestricted free agent year, flat cap. It's just things are going to be weird this summer, I guess I should say this fall because it's not going to happen till the fall.
Yeah, really, really looking forward to spending American Thanksgiving covering free agency.
Yeah.
Is it going to be that late?
Dude,
Man,
I don't know.
I mean, it could.
Yeah. They want a Stanley Cup champion in the mid-October, so yeah, that makes sense.
That's so brutal. All right, yeah, it's going to be a weird year.
Yeah,
it's not just going to be weird this year. It's going to be weird next season, and if they insist on doing the 82 games, they're going to.
So how the fiance and I were trying to map this out because she was asking me about it, and I was telling her, "Oh, they're going to play all 82 games. Of course they are. Like, they're done giving away money."
Yeah, so, Batman said, "Oh yeah, no question, we're playing full season next year."
So schedule wise, how would you guys lay that out? So let's just say that they start in free agent Black Friday. That's an amazing idea.
That is actually a really good idea.
Yeah. No, all credit to Justin for that idea. It's not mine. How would you guys schedule starting at the beginning of January for an 82 game season?
Just go through July and pound them in as hard as you can.
Yep, start with the Winter Classic, and it's going to be a tough first season.
Winter Classic as the first game of the season would actually be a way to make it interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
You kick it off with the Winter Classic, and you probably finish at the mid-July, end of July. And then the following season, they probably try to start a little bit earlier and then try to get back to the beginning of July, into June. I think it'll take them, 3 full solid seasons if they choose to get back to where they were. They may decide that starting in December is fantastic because I think I read an article by James Myrtle that attendance and even TV ratings don't really kick in strong for the NHL until December anyway.
This is a league that desperately does not want to go up against the NFL. The more of the season they can play when the NFL is off, the better for them.
So why don't they just avoid it?
Just do it, right?
I'd never thought of it before, but starting every year with the Winter Classic on New Year's Day would be awesome. That would be it would be a way to make the Winter Classic meaningful again, because at first it was like, oh, it's an outdoor game, and now everybody's had to live their fill of them, especially in Colorado. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, we're over this, and now it would be like, if you wanted to start the season on January 1st, Winter Classic, an outdoor game, kind of do like the NFL does, where their first game every year features one of the teams from the Super Bowl, usually the defending champion, and start and just do that. Like, I would have watched St. Louis and Boston in Game 1, outdoor Winter Classic, January 1st. I think that would be a really cool way to actually like make a permanent change to the schedule if you were going to do that. It's a bold change, but I think that's cool.
Are there going to be any fans in that giant 70,000 stadium?
First game of the year, it'll be bananas.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying with like where we're headed as the
come on,
this year
it's happening. Those people are going to break down those gates to get in.
Yeah, but I don't think they have any plan right now. They're just making this up as they go. But
they kind of have to.
It would be interesting to go play through the summer consistently every year. I don't understand why the NBA doesn't do it anyway. Because
we talked about this on TDSP last week.
These guys are wearing tank tops anyway, so you might as well just play in the summer. So
why they don't have an outdoor game, I don't know.
Precisely.
You would think that sport makes more sense for it, but either way, we do have to take our first period break here because
we do those.
In the summer, not only are you playing hockey, there's a good chance you're playing golf. And while it may be hard to get out on the actual golf course right now, WGT Golf has you covered with the most popular golf game in the world. You can even join in with the DNVR Clubhouse by going to dnvrgolf.com to download and get in on our tournaments. I promise none of them will be as hard as the one we had last weekend. That was the hardest one you could possibly do. So it only gets easier from here, but you can play with over 20 million people from around the world on the go, right on your phone as a mobile app. It is one of the most realistic golf games out there. You can play in true-to-life courses like Pebble Beach, Bethpage Black, St. Andrews, many others as well, in a ton of different formats. So get on it today. You can always challenge us over in the DNVR Lounge as well. DNVRgolf.com to download.
Been honing my game.
You're gonna smack some fools down? You ready?
No, I'm still quite bad, but I've been working on it. I've been making a concerted effort to quit playing so much StarCraft and try this out instead. Try and at least get respectable at WGT.
All right, I like AJ's not gonna go down without a fight. We'll put it that way. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by Davidson's Beer, Wine, and Spirits. I do have to grab another beer, y'all, but first, do we see any awards going to Avalanche players this season? Regular season awards, let's say.
I've talked about this 1,000 times, so I'm gonna let the two of you. Dario, you're pointing at your shirt, in which you're wearing, by the way, quite a nice shirt that says "All Hail Cale." So let's just start with the Calder. Why Cale over Quinn?
Evan, you want to talk about that?
Well,
or what's your opinion?
My opinion is he should win. Because the season didn't end the proper way, I have my doubts just how it's going to end, because people might look at that point production and just see that Quinn was on the top. And I see they've already started that in Canada, that they've already started that campaign for him. So
Vancouver started with the pro Quinn stuff in training camp.
Yeah, so
a long time ago.
I definitely think Makar should win it, but I'm just not sure how it's going to work out with the Canadian media. You just never know there. I do think McKinnon has a good shot at the Hart Trophy. So just I mean, you think of 92 points, 1 win away from first place in the West. It's going to look good on his resume, and he's been that guy who's been kind of coming at that trophy for a couple of years now, and I think this could be the year that he actually takes it.
Yeah, I think Makar should win the Calder. I'm biased. I'll admit that. He's the best rookie defenseman I've ever seen. You can look at the advanced numbers and you can find stuff for both guys. But we've seen them go head to head, and there's just a stark difference when you watch a game with Makar on a shift and Jack and Hughes on a shift. It's just, and then, there are a lot of people. It's hard to quantify via numbers, honestly, to say that one guy is like clear head, shoulders above the other. But when you watch them play, I think the difference is obvious. But like I said, I'm not an objective observer. He just struck liquid. He just struck gold. He's just amazing. And then he just could, that kind of goal threat from the point just changes the game. There's just no other way to describe it. When a guy's just going to sauce it off on a pass, and you know what he's going to do as a winger when you're charging him up there, then it makes your assignment kind of easy. You see that in beer league hockey when a guy has a big bomb and he's a threat to shoot. It changes how you play defensively. And Makar is a threat every single time he has the puck there, and Hughes not necessarily. I mean, he's gonna dish. He's gonna see an open guy. He's gonna dance and spin, and he's gonna do some things. But he's easier to contain. But Vancouver fans, and they have a good argument. He's just, look at the numbers, and they're both really good. But on the heart, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when a guy winds up in beer league with a bomb, I'm getting out of the way. I'm not getting paid for that.
Yeah.
This is a great transition, as I do think it's time for us to play some games. And I do want to play a little bit of Price is Right here. And since you guys mentioned Makar, our first item on the list, a number 210 Cale Makar high gloss Young Guns card. For the record, it's extremely rare. All prices were taken from eBay on a sold listing.
So a sold listing. So this is the final price.
Correct. And we will start with AJ since you're at the top here, and we'll switch every item. We have a couple.
I have no concept of value for trading cards. And I swear, if I guess $90 and one of you guesses 91, we are fighting.
$90.01.
Chat, also feel free to throw your answers out.
We will officially be fighting, so don't Price is Right me while we're playing Price is Right.
If it's a lot, I'm going to my parents' house and digging out my old Valerie Kaminsky cards and selling them to somebody.
I am gonna guess $120.
Who's next?
Dario next.
To me, it sounds like a lot for a trading card. So
these guys are getting game-worn jerseys, or Makar is in particular, that are like I think over $5,000. So I'm gonna say if this is a rare rookie card, I'm gonna say this thing went for. I'm gonna say, and I don't collect cards. I don't even own one in my house. I'm gonna say that thing is $2,500.
Woo! I got a good gap to work with here.
You do.
$120 to $1,500
for you find me the dude paying $2,500 for this thing, and we need to bleed that guy dry. I want to take his money.
I can imagine coming home to my wife like, "Oh, I bought a card for $2,500. We're just gonna look at it. We're not gonna do anything with
What's this $2,500 charge to eBay? Oh, that Cale Makar card that's now hanging up right inside the front door.
You'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give AJ a little gap here. I'm gonna say $4.25.
That guy is
Alright.
a very good call.
So
I'm
Fair.
way off, apparently.
technically, Dario was the closest, but he went over. As the official price was $1,850.
What the?
Holla!
$1,800?
Yep.
What
in the
did-
hell are people doing with their money?
Not that he's on the same playing field, but I think if you Google some like Mario Lemieux, Bobby Orr, Gretzky rookie cards, they're
The
outrageous.
Gretzky ones are absurd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So people are using it as an investment. I guess I think that he'll be a Hall of Famer and one of the best ever. And hey, if you had a rookie Crosby card, I bet it's worth big bucks.
Okay. Let's do a much stranger.
I think I'm
item.
doing the wrong. I'm in the wrong industry.
In the wrong
You guys are
business.
selling this for $1,800.
All right. Much weirder item in Avs memorabilia here. A Joe Sakic jersey that was
my eyes.
all of his career stats on the back and awards, and it's part of some series that I don't really understand. It's also signed by Joe Sakic.
I think that looks like my toddler made that jersey. Like,
It's Frankenstein on the back. That's not a normal nameplate. The burgundy. And it's the Unipron. Can you bid negative dollars?
Well, you have to bid first, Dario.
It's
so-
Joe Sakic, so that by itself is hollowed ground.
what is that? What does that even say? Career jersey 103 of 199. What the hell does that mean?
It's a whole series. They did 199 players' career jerseys.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm not
game
paying a
worn.
dime for that thing.
It's signed.
So this sold on eBay.
This sold on eBay.
It's probably the same sucker who just spent $1,800 on a card.
Jesus, my guess, probably a Costa jersey with a signature minus how bad it is. I just go with like $175.
Oh.
All right. Dario for 175. Evan?
That card threw me off. I was going to say like $10,000. I don't know what the hell. I'll just go 10 G's. I
Jeez.
don't know what costs anything anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna say $3,000 because it's signed by Joe Sakic. So I feel like that alone, like if you were to go to an auction and anything was signed by Joe Sakic, is gonna get some special. Now I'm saying it out loud. I want to go 5 because it just feels like it's like a super like there's one of these. There are 199 in a
Should
series
be
of
zero
one,
of
like-
these. Look at that thing.
I don't feel like it loses value because it's hideous. I feel like it gains value because it's memorable and there's only one of them. Because there should only
can I tell you a
be one
secret?
of them.
Can I tell you a secret?
You bought it.
There could be one of anything if you make it ugly enough.
That's what I'm saying.
So $3,000 or $5,000?
Let's go. Let's just go with 3.
3. All
3
right.
is fine.
So by proximity, AJ is closest, but he went over.
What? No way.
Or, no, I guess Dario would be closer. My bad. This sold for $815 American dollars.
Well, I think that's Evan takes that. I said like 150.
Well, Evan said $10,000.
Yeah, Evan.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
That was close.
Wow.
I don't understand this world I'm living in.
See, this is why. If you guys go on, this is why.
I don't get
If
it.
you go on road trips and see the players when they come out of hotels, there's always a group of professional autograph seekers, and I guarantee you, Sakic signed a legit jersey, and then they did all this Frankenstein stuff after the fact.
All right. A couple more items.
Is
here.
that how big it is in real life too? It's just that like tiny little thing. Because they had to cut it up so much to make it.
This is a real size jersey.
It's for a child or a dog.
You can reserve now by calling some number. Next up, a 1997-98 Pinnacle Mint Collection Peter Forsberg coin.
What? It looks like the thing you put in at like the zoo. You put a quarter in, you turn it.
Yeah, I got one of those at SeaWorld once. Before I knew SeaWorld was bad.
Can you find that Google image of Ronaldo with that bad statue?
That's right. That's what I thought of.
Face in that thing. That's
What
horrible.
is that? How is it that you make a man as attractive as Peter Forsberg look like that?
Oh, good lord.
All right, Evan, you're first.
Well, Rod Job 21 says $10, and he has that coin, so I'm going to go $10.
You're cheating.
I'm going 11.
You?
I'll go 15. I don't want to Price is Right you. Let's mess up.
That's
No, I'm going the other way. I'm going 5. That's garbage.
That's the 1990s butt cut right there.
Dario?
I have no idea. I'm going to say, oh, God, what's it made with? Because you just melt it down. It's not worth anything.
It's worth laughing at on this stream right now.
$6.99.
600 or $6 and
$6.99.
AJ was closest, but you were all over. This sold for the grand total of 99 cents.
Good. Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Restored some faith in humanity.
Sanity is back in here.
Ryan.
All right, this one is a personal favorite of mine. Draft day rookie card of Matthew Steinberg. AJ,
Who made this card in the first place?
They make those. They actually
yeah, the NHL.
So when you work the draft, they give you these cards.
Yep.
I have my pack somewhere here behind me in my room.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to sell them.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yes.
How much did his dad buy this for?
Okay, well there goes. I was gonna say 61 cents, but if I need to sell them, because I've got like a couple years, I might even have Makar sitting around. Gosh, let's go with $50.
All right, AJ for 50. Dario.
Rudo got in my head with that. You need to sell them,
Right. A little bit of forecasting. So he hasn't done anything. He's what, a third round pick? He wasn't a second. He's third, right?
Third round pick.
First pick of the third round.
Yeah. That's like $25.
I'm gonna go. He was the 63rd pick. I'm gonna go $63.
Okay.
Solid reasoning.
Evan was closest, but over.
Oh.
At $59.99.
Oh,
Really?
Yep.
And it's sold. It's not.
And it's sold. All of these are sold.
How much money am I sitting on with these packs?
You got your retirement right there in a shoebox. You didn't even know it.
Jesus.
Okay. Couple more items here. This one confused me greatly. I do not understand how this came to exist. This is a Colorado Avalanche hockey starter vintage baseball style jersey.
This is gonna be ugly.
it looks slightly used.
It is
Starter.
missing a button. I can confirm.
Okay.
Is there a story behind this? This is like
There is no story that I could find.
they didn't wear it to a Rockies game or.
I have
nothing
no
like that?
idea where it. I tried looking up stuff about it. It's just a baseball jersey with an Avs logo printed on it, as far as I can tell.
Starter's
All right.
old school. That's old school.
I missed my starter jackets. It's missing a button though. That takes at least $30 off.
So it's free.
It's Dario first. So.
Who would buy? What kind of unique platform do you have that you need this thing and would pay big money for it? So
this is the I got really high on a Friday night and was browsing eBay because I remembered it existed and was looking for some weird Av stuff and was like, oh, hey, this looks amazing. Nobody else owns one of these.
Are you talking about Rudo or is somebody else? Where did you find this crap?
This is very targeted.
You tried to buy that half and half Walker jersey, but you were too drunk and accidentally clicked on this, and like you ended up with this instead.
It showed up, and you're like, oh, not exactly what I thought I was getting.
Yeah, that thing is $19.99. That's what it is. That's something you take off the rack at TJ Maxx, and you're like, no, it's not worth that.
100%. 100%.
All right,
You guys are agreeing on price?
you're up.
You're not allowed to.
Bidders row, yeah.
I'm gonna go with $27, and I cut the sleeves off it.
Landeskog it.
Oh my gosh. I'm going $24.99. That was the price I had in mind when I first looked at it.
What'd you say? $29.99?
$24.99.
$24.99. All right. I don't know. I don't remember what any of you said because I've been drinking. But the price paid for this was $42.
What the?
49¢. And that was on sale. It was originally $49.99.
I'm gonna go stick an Avs logo on a white T-shirt and sell it on eBay.
Nothing has chipped away at my faith in humanity like this game.
Hockey starter.
Is this what people are doing with their stimulus money?
Oh, you were joking. It literally says missing button.
Yeah, no, it's actually missing that button.
That's why they dropped it for $50.
Wow.
XL, nice.
So
Okay.
eBay means people are bidding on this. Like they're like, I gotta have that thing. No, I gotta have it.
Missing a button. I'm dying over here.
Two more items to get to that aren't nearly as strange, but I thought were fun. Firstly,
honey, I found an Avs baseball jersey. Does it have all its buttons?
So that's where it's like, babe, I need you to do me a favor, and like you have a very serious approach to it. Like, I need you to put a button back on this jersey I bought off eBay.
resell it for an extra $7.
It's a $7 button.
What is this?
This
Oh
is
my
a
goodness.
Lake Erie Monsters
Ugh.
Patrick Bordelot bobblehead sponsored by Time Warner Cable.
Okay.
I believe Evan is first.
I don't. Look at that soul patch down to the chin. Oh my god. I am gonna go with $47.23.
Specific. Okay.
Wasn't the last one like $42.64?
Yes.
Yes.
Random numbers.
So yeah.
I'm going $14.
$14? $42?
Okay, so I think there are people that would want this because he's not even pretending to be a hockey player. He's in a fighting stance. He doesn't even have hockey gloves on, so he's a pure fighter.
There's no stick.
There's a huge Bordelot fan base out there back in the day. He did play in the NHL. He had his cup of coffee. This is a $90 bubble. This is a $90 bobblehead. That's what I'm saying. $90.
That man got a multi-year NHL contract.
Patrick Waugh's first contract.
So
like a week after he was announced coach.
What we've learned today is do not trust this podcast in pricing absolutely anything. This bobblehead sold for $7.70.
I told you it's going to be a random number.
God. You'd rather have the jersey that missing a button than Patrick Portolo?
Wait, hold on. How much is that? How much is it discounted?
It was $9.59, so
$9.59.
19% off.
That guy
They
took a
negotiated that thing down $2 and some change.
bath.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We have
I don't
one
understand finances. The U.S. economy.
final item, and then we'll jump into our third period. This is maybe the most
The signed AJ
1990s Colorado
my
item
God.
that has ever existed, or certainly Northern Colorado item that has ever existed. Someone essentially just ironed on an Avalanche logo to a jean jacket, and that's what this is.
Lee! That's amazing.
Its shoulder looks dirty. Looks like someone spilled like Coke on it.
Who's first? AJ, I think, is first bid here.
Oh, man.
My faith in humanity is gone, so I'm gonna go $60.
I'll just tell a quick story. In middle school, they made us make a pillow out of jeans. And
I bet that was translatable.
well, it's like, who's going to sleep on a jean pillow? Like, that's not comfortable.
Did you go to grade school in Canada?
No, in Littleton, Colorado.
My face hurts.
I think D-Line probably did buy this, so I'm gonna go with. I bet that's $300.
Dude, that is so bad. Okay, so the jersey went for like almost what, 40 something bucks, $48, right?
I don't remember anymore.
It's so long ago.
This jersey went for $42.49.
It was on sale. That's gotta be in the 50s. That's gotta be $59.99. That's gotta be.
$59.99.
You're gonna 1 cent me?
Oh, what'd you say?
I said $60. You're gonna 1 cent me?
The worst.
I'm an idiot. That's like the
ever.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Barker would ask me to leave. That's horrible. I'm gonna stick with my first answer though, because I'm a man of integrity. Let's go with that. There's no way I'll win. I'll be over.
All right. Evan, you already bid, correct?
See,
Yeah.
well, it depends on what the answer is. I don't know.
I mean, you bid horribly out of order, but nonetheless, the answer is $54.96.
We were on that one.
Yeah,
you guys- It took you
Nailed
about
it.
6 items.
I was
to
not
figure out
on
the
that.
eBay, but
if I had a barbed wire tattoo, I would have bought that, but I don't.
all right.
That's a
Time
great
for-
joke.
Our second period break, which
It's another
so
item
good.
you need to cut the sleeves
one
off.
thing I can guarantee you is better than the vast majority of these items is Colorado Raptors Professional Rugby, which is a team we now cover here at DNVR with Colton Strickler taking you inside the locker room with the DNVR Raptors podcast, as well as his written content right on thednvr.com. And supporting our partners is supporting us. So be sure to tune in and watch the DNVR watches on Saturdays and Sundays to watch Raptors games and get to know the sport, as well as following the team on Twitter with the DNVR Raptors account. If you don't know anything about rugby, well, you are not alone. We are learning as we go here, and you can check out their podcast where Colton has broken down many of the basics of rugby and learning the sport for, let's be honest, us here Americans, often not very smart when it comes to the rugby sporting. He has a bunch of 101 pods for you to be all set up. So just remember that supporting the Raptors is supporting us here at DNVR, and give rugby a shot today. All right. As I take my screen off here, we're jumping into the third period, and we need another member. If someone wants to hop on this channel, I know that, Gregor, if you're still around, you were asking to be on this the other day. If you want to come on the show and try your hand at Avalanche trivia with help from the crew, because I promise you it's quite difficult, I will give you the chance to jump on. Or if Gregor's not around, I will open it up to anyone that wants to jump on the show and do a little bit of trivia. While we wait for someone to jump in here, are there any burning topics we have on the Avalanche right now? What is, Dario, what is your hot Avalanche take in the world?
Who's going to be in shape? And, how are they going to do this 2-week training camp? Training camps are typically they're really rapid. They're 4 days. The guys are already in shape. Yeah. They go over some system stuff, and Bednar makes sure that they're in shape. He does some measurement drills. It's going to be who are the good actors at home with limited resources to stay in shape, and who's not. And that can make a difference, especially for these play-in teams. I mean, for the Avalanche, at least they got a little time. So maybe there's someone that's a key player that's kind of out of shape a little bit, and they take the 2-week training camp, and then they take this round robin seeding thing, and maybe they're pretty much up to game speed by the time they play a real game. But in a play-in series, those guys don't have that luxury. They're going to go right after it.
I tell you, on a roster this competitive, if a dude rolls in out of shape when they're trying to make a cup run, you get rid of him.
Yeah, well, McKinnon will have him for breakfast, I'm sure.
Straight up, you're trying to win a Stanley Cup. The culture that they're trying to build in that locker room. If a dude can't keep himself in shape during all of this, and you guys have bigger aspirations, and somebody rolls into this totally out of shape and unprepared, that's it. That says everything you need to know. That dude's selfish, and you can't have him around.
Yeah, and then these guys are used to competing all year long. When they're not playing hockey, they're playing golf, and they're competitive animals. I mean, that's just, you don't get to that level without having an ultra super competitive streak. And if you're stuck in a house for 3 months, I suppose you could take that out in video games, do some other things to feed that competitive edge. But those guys are going to be chomping at the bit. I'm hoping for the best. I
watched the Avs I watched them play Fortnite in that big NHL thing, and if they're taking out their competitiveness in Fortnite, they're not doing it very well.
Maybe that's good. I don't know.
My hot take is I think Byram gets in somehow.
You think he plays games?
I do.
Wow.
Because you
more faith than me, I'll tell you that right now.
I tell you, if one of those guys comes back out of shape, if one of those guys comes back and gets hurt, I would make him the first fill-in.
You would?
I would.
Do you think the Avs would, though?
Nope.
Yeah.
Lindholm.
I think there's a decent chance Timmins is in play for that.
I would say Timmins has a better chance than Byram.
And Lindholm, I think, will definitely be.
Yeah, for sure.
Somewhere, but we're forgetting Barbario and Connaughton exist.
Right, exactly.
The go-tos, but
these are the locks that are already on the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, looks like we do have someone coming, but I'm going to give you guys the first question because I specifically tailored this first question to a specific group of people. Question number 1 of our trivia event is, who is Dario's favorite? And for the video, for the audio, I put air quotes around favorite player.
Can I cuss on this podcast, or you have real big corporate sponsors, and I have to be professional, right?
Yeah, try to use muted adult language.
I mean, technically we can't stop you, but it'd be preferred not.
Just won't be invited back. Go ahead. Go ahead. Lay it on.
It's Chuck Kovacev.
It is Chuck Kovacev. Indeed.
Shivers.
I believe we were sitting at training camp, and Dario said, "I fell in loathe at first sight. And it's been
Yeah.
downhill ever since. He's been having to hear about Chuck Kobasu ever since.
Yep. And realistically, I'm sure he's a cool dude and he's fine.
Well, if you ever need a house
Kicks
in
puppies.
Arizona, you know who to call.
Yeah, real estate agent. I don't besmirch him. I just didn't like the way he played. He looked entitled, and he let other people go into the corners to do his work. He's former goal scorer Chuck Kobasu from Boston, and Bork 2.0, and we're gonna bring on someone with some championship pedigree. It was all a bunch of.
Oh, that was one of the worst takes I've ever seen.
Oh goodness!
So people who know me know I come from the Reddit scene, and when the Avs acquired Jarome Iginla, there was this big movement about how Jarome Iginla could be the Avs Bork 2.0. And even at the time before everything happened, I was like, really? And then, the rest is history. And, they traded Iginla for nothing. So
I don't. That first training camp with Iginla was pretty dope, though. To see him come out in an Avs jersey was cool as hell.
And he was still good.
Whatever happened afterwards, yeah. He still scored 29 goals or whatever that first
year. We forget he was good the first 2 years. And then by the third year, it was like his legs were just gone. But it was those first 2 years, he totally was what you wanted.
They needed to get the Boston Iginla contract. They just got in too late. I mean, he has the gravitas in the room. He's got, people listen to him. He's a workout animal. He has the work ethic and everything. And I believe they would have played harder for him, but he couldn't lead on the ice after the first year or so. It just couldn't.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was great for me personally because my first year covering the Avs, he was in that locker room, and boy, was
guaranteed Hall of Famer to cover there.
He rocked. He was. Anytime anybody ever says anything nice about Jarome Iginla, they're understating it.
Did you get to see J.S. Jaguar? Were you on the beat back then? Okay.
Just missed him.
See, that's an interesting thing, though, because Iginla was definitely not the nicest person on the ice.
No, he was amazing with the media, though. He was very patient, even when they were bad and they were losing. He was accountable. He talked about his own play before he would talk about teammates. Really had a great perspective, and obviously where he was in his career made that a little easier. But had a great perspective on the game and his career and kind of the way that you go day to day when you're in a long sport like hockey, what has 80 some odd games in the regular season.
All right. Well, it looks like we may indeed have our trivia challenger on here.
Let's do this.
Let's go ahead and bring him on. He's listed himself as Joey on the StreamYard, also known as Nacer, I believe, on the DNVR Lounge. Good to have you on. Welcome to the show.
Neither, but close enough.
Yeah, okay. Well, Rudo pronouncing names wrong is nothing new. So
yeah, just
you're
another
not the
day.
only one that gets my last name wrong. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'll try to get it right from here on out. We've had the boys answer one question correct for you, and you are welcome to use them for help on the rest of these questions because they are not particularly easy. But
oh, great.
We can go ahead and jump in here. The first question for you is, who in Avs history has the most blocks? And this stat was only started to track in 05-06.
Can you repeat the question?
First instinct wants to say.
Which player has the most blocks in Avalanche history? Shot blocks.
You said it starts in 05.
Correct. The stat was not tracked before that.
My first instinct wants to say Foot, but I can't remember when he came back from Columbus.
08.
Oh, yeah, so it's not... Yeah. All right, AJ?
I mean, you kind of lean on games played here, right? Like,
yeah.
You'd have to think EJ's been here for a really long time.
I would go with the guy who was kind of known for it in his career, Carlos Scratchins.
Yeah, I thought about him too, but how long was he here? How many did he block versus EJ's been here for 8 years now?
Yeah, my memory is Clark and Scratchins just blocking all kinds of shots. All they did was stay in front of the net and then just lay down on the ice. So I was like, who was Clark's partner? But Scratchins is his guy. Yeah. And then I think if Nate Gannon had a longer track record, he would have got it. I think Scratchins is a really good guess.
Yeah.
So Scratchins or EJ? I think I'm going to lean towards EJ on this one.
You are correct.
There you go.
It is Eric Johnson over Carlos Scratchins. The Iron Man Scratchins really didn't play that much for the Avs after 05-06.
I think it was 3 seasons. Yeah.
Yep. One question down. They only get more difficult from, well, we'll see. This question, if people will either know or they won't know, there have been 2 penalty shots in the playoffs taken by an Avs player. One of them was Joe Sakic. Who was the other?
Sakic
knew the Sakic one.
Yeah,
same.
Wow.
Did he make it? Was he successful?
I don't know, and I'm not going to pull it back up. I will give you the hint that it happened in 2008.
Oh, yeah, so while we think about this, we actually we have a question that says, is he driving? No, he actually pulled over to do this.
Pull over to jump on the
he
show.
pulled over to hop on this, so he is not currently driving.
I don't have a job at the moment. I'm doing DoorDash or Grubhub, so I had to pull over.
All living the dream.
That's a real job, if you ask me.
Yeah,
that's
definitely a job.
No boss, great.
2008.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with chat on this one, the last one that was just given. I like the idea. I think Wolski.
Oh, boy.
I was gonna say something stupid like Tyler Arneson.
Same. I think this is the same team.
That's a really good guess. I mean, a cherry picker that gets caught from behind, I could totally believe that it's Tyler Arneson.
Punched in a bar, or punched his coach or whatever.
That's the eras. What, Savatos, Neterost. Who else was playing back then?
Neterost was before that.
That was the year Forsberg came back, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the years.
Yeah, one of them.
So it's 4-game season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea. Volsky's as good answer as anything else.
I'll tell you right now, none of these people are correct.
No.
Was it a forward?
It was a forward.
Probably like Ben Guite or something like that.
LaPerriere? No, that's not 2008. That's after him.
I feel like it's too obvious to say somebody like, hey, Duke.
What's chat say?
I mean,
They've said a lot of things.
AJ already went with chat once, and that was wrong. Someone said Nieto in 2008. I guess they probably said that before 2008.
Yeah. We gotta
figuring it out, though.
I think we have some Googlers.
All right.
I'm just gonna go with Hey Duke.
It is not Milan Hajduk, but it is Ryan Smith.
Captain Canada.
And we have 2 more questions that we'll go a little bit faster on.
Yeah.
As AJ's got DSP to do. But only one Av has ever recorded 5 even strength points in a game. Who is it?
Even strength.
Correct.
Any chance of getting a year on that?
I don't have the year on me, but I can tell you it's not one of the retired numbers.
I figured that'd be too obvious anyway. I'll keep her buzzing and going here. Tangate.
Great guess. It is, in fact, Alex Tangay.
Wow.
Wow.
Even strength point game. The only one. There are a ton of 4-point even strength games, but
For
Tangay.
some reason, I feel like you guys mentioned it on one of the pods not too long ago.
I don't remember mentioning it, but
I don't either.
Were they all assists?
I believe he scored 2 goals and 3 assists. But
Nice.
all right, final question as we wrap up the show here. According to NHL.com, there is an Avs player that had a game in which he shot 200%. Who is this player?
Was it the same game where Zadorov took that face off and won it?
If Zadorov was playing in 2009, maybe.
Is that 2008?
How could you do that?
I was going to guess Bordelot because he scored a bunch of ass goals, but I guess he wasn't around then.
So we had a player shoot 200%, huh?
Yep.
And this is still
Would it be
live?
the one good thing.
You can go
Would
look
it
it
be
up
the
on
one good thing
NHL.com
Gennon did
right
in his
now.
career?
Is
Would it
not
be the
Nate
one good
Gennon.
thing
I
Gennon
can
did?
tell you, yeah. not Nate Gennon. As amazing as that would be. It is a forward.
2009, wow. Is it the 2008, 2009 team? Or
It was a game in 2009. I believe it was the 09-010 team.
so
It's not Scott Hanna.
Forward or D?
He hit the
Forward.
boards with every shot. That can't be him.
Matt Hendricks.
Not Matt Hendricks.
All right. I won't keep AJ waiting. Let's just go with Spados.
Spados is a good guess, but it is the other forward on that team, in Wojtek Wolski.
So there's
Oh,
only
boy.
one other forward.
Yeah,
Got 200%, huh?
he shot 200%, scored 2 goals
Does
on
it
one
explain
shot.
how?
I know he had 1 shot. He scored 2 goals. It does not explain how this happened, but
It has to be like a last touch own goal type thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has to be like an empty net, like extra guy, extra attacker on a power play or at the end of the game, and they put it in their own net.
there wasn't highlights on NHL.com, so I don't know how it happened. But
Delayed penalty, forward tries to pass it back, goes into the net when nobody's there.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Has to.
Either way, that happened. We know the trivia is hard. Neester, Joey, I don't know what to call you. I'm terrible with names. Thank you for coming on the show. DM me your address, and we'll send you a sticker pack if you would like. As thank you for subjecting yourself to the difficult trivia that we like to bring here.
No wonder you took a long time to find somebody.
Yeah,
Everyone was scared. Yeah, I guess.
people afraid.
He's going to send you an ad.
I'm used to
baseball
embarrassing.
jersey.
I'm used to embarrassing myself anyway, so we're good.
Oh. Well, thank you for coming on. Do you have anything you want to say about the Avs or anything like that?
It is not easy being an Avs fan in the late '90s, early 2000s, living in Michigan.
Well, yeah,
Ooh.
that sounds
Yeah.
brutal, my dude.
Keep your head down.
Yeah. Well,
I'm loving it now. I'll tell you that.
it's the good days now with Detroit where they are. But thank you for coming on the show. Much appreciated. Again, hit me up with a DM and we will get you your sticker pack. For the rest of us, we are going to get out of here for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed kind of the new format, the new show, something we want to do on Fridays, have a little bit of fun, drink a few beers, and enjoy ourselves. So something we're going to do a bit more of going forward. And something y'all should do going forward is be sure to take care of what's going on down below the belt. With Manscaped, you can head on over to manscaped.com and get yourself the perfect package 3.0 and get 20% off and free shipping when you use code DNVR20. It comes with the Lawnmower 3.0, the best trimmer in the world, whether you're using it for your privates, your beard, your chest, whatever hair you have on your body, it works fantastic. You also get some anti-chafe deodorant, some spray-on toner to keep everything fresh, and it even all comes in an amazing carrying case. So you cannot go wrong. Manscaped.com, DNVR20 code. That is it for this Friday. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Hope y'all enjoyed the trivia and fun we had with some memorabilia. We have some other games planned for future weeks, and if y'all want to jump on and win yourself a sticker pack like Neester did, then you can do that every single week. Until next time, we will see you on the DNVR Avalanche podcast on Monday. Have a good rest of your weekend, and goodbye.